We're very pleased to have Carl C. Risch join us. Carl is Assistant Secretary to the Bureau of Consular Affairs at the US State Department. And Carl's case study will offer practical tips for relieving the security and other concerns for Americans whilst abroad through messaging and through practical steps. So Carl, welcome, and please would you introduce yourself?
My name is Carl Risch. I'm the Assistant Secretary of State for Consular Affairs, which is part of the Department of State in Washington, D.C. Our number one priority at the Bureau of Consular Affairs is the protection of Americans overseas, about providing advice and travel safety.
Thanks, Carl. So, Carl, the US State Department has released an entirely new travel advisory system and step alert program. What are the advantages for American travelers?
Well, the new travel advisory system is a much improved system for our new website, travel.state.gov, which is now a mobile-friendly website. The new travel advisory system has travel advisories for every country in the world, not just certain countries where there are travel concerns or the need for a travel warning. So it's much more useful to travelers to research where they want to go, to find out if there's any concerns in those countries, and to prepare accordingly and to make a decision for themselves about whether or not that's a place they would like to travel to.
Carl, do you think there'll be an impact on tour operators in the USA or indeed tourism handling or service providers in Europe following from the program that you've introduced?
Well, the situation in Europe and our travel advice for Europe really hasn't substantively changed very much. We've changed the format. It's now something that they can review in the context of looking at every country in Europe and not just specific ones. So the substance of our advice really hasn't changed. We encourage people to travel. We understand that there are some issues in the past in Europe, concerns about terrorism, things like that. But for the most part, millions of Americans go to Europe. They have a great time. They have no travel or security problems. Overall, it's, of course, a very safe destination throughout Western Europe for travelers. And we expect that will continue, and Europe will continue to welcome and entertain our American travelers as they go to Europe.
Carl, do you think US citizens will be feeling less confident or more confident about their welcome as Americans when they travel to Europe in 2018?
I believe there really has been no change around that. Americans have been traveling to Europe for, of course, many, many years. Millions of travelers go. Americans, I believe, have always felt welcome in Europe. I, as a traveler in Europe, have spent a lot of time traveling in Europe in my life and living in Western Europe. Always felt welcome, always felt safe. And I believe the confidence that the Americans have in as travelers in European tourism, European travel, is unchanged.
Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your very busy schedule and appreciate your input. Thank you.